Hello, welcome to another episode of Montana Shares, your opportunity to find out about the nonprofits that make our state great. I'm your host, Bill Crane, and today I've got Glenna with Family Promise. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's hit the event first, because you have an event coming up.
We do.
It's the Comfort Food Challenge,
Yes,
right?
correct.
And in a nutshell, what is it about? It's obviously a fundraiser for Family Promise, right?
Yeah. So the Comfort Food Challenge, this will be our 10th annual Comfort Food Challenge. It's held out at the Lewis and Clark Exhibit Hall at the fairgrounds, and we're going to have about 25 different booths or exhibitors out there where you can go around and try out their comfort food that they're offering. And there'll be everything from grilled cheese sandwich to donut bites to beef bourguignon, I think it is. So there's a lot of good food to be had, a couple of different kinds of soups. We have some great restaurants. A lot of the churches bring their favorite church meal out there, or church item out there. So it's a lot of fun. Okay, so now we can back off and talk about the work that Family Promise does now that we've got the word out on the event. Talk about Family Promise. What do you guys do and the results you get? Family Promise is an agency that works to end homelessness for children and their families. And we really focus on families that have little children when they're homeless. That's a really heavy burden to bear for a child, for anyone, but especially a child. It's very, very difficult. And we have many agencies in Helena that work on homelessness, that work to help homeless folks find a place to live. But we exclusively work only with those who have children. So what happens is, when we have taken in a family, we have a space for up to 3, in some cases 4, but we take in the family, we help them understand, work on how to find a job, how to find housing, how to get their kids enrolled in programs for the children. All of the things that are obstacles, we take a look at what is it that's caused the problem. Are you new here? Did you lose a job? What happened that put your family in this situation? Meanwhile, they stay at one of our partner churches. We have about 20-some partner churches around the city. I think 11 or 12 are what we call residential. That means they're shelter churches. They provide a place for our families to stay for a week at a time in a rotation. And then we have other churches who bring food for dinner each night. And during the day, our families stay at our day center, come to our day center for their other needs, laundry, lunch, place for the kids to come to after school. Mom and Dad work on homework with them or whatever. And we have a professional advocate who helps folks, like I said, deal with those barriers, work through those problems, get the resume polished up, get job applications out. We have a class called New Beginnings, which helps families understand financial literacy and how to overcome the difficulties of budgeting. And so it's a pretty comprehensive program, and most of our families successfully find housing and or transition to sustainable housing within about 80 days, so less than 3 months usually. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I'm sure the difference between someone walking in and someone walking out is totally different. It's probably very transformational. You know, Bill, it really is. And I always think back on one of the families that came in several months ago, and they had contacted us and wanted to see if they would qualify and if there was space in our programs. A lot of times we're full, you know, we can't take that many at a time. And but we did have an opening, and they came in, they had 3 children, and they're talking with the advocate and with myself, and was just kind of observing, and I noticed the little girl staring at the food that was sitting on the counter. I think there was some bananas and apples or something sitting there. And she was, I think she was about 5 or 6, and she just was staring at the food, which, you know, years in the business had kind of taught me a thing or two, and I thought, you know, I'm going to just see if she would like something to eat. And so I offered her one of the bananas, and she was really happy to get it. And then the advocate kind of started noticing too, the whole family had apparently not eaten since the day before, and they were in pretty dire need of some help. So we stopped the interview at that point and just got out the bread and the peanut butter and jelly or whatever we had and fed everyone. And then we went back to the interview. And the difference, I think it was about 2.5 months when they found a place to live. Dad had a good job, Mom had a job, kids were in school. They had gained a lot of confidence. They had come to Montana for a job that Dad thought he was going to get, but by the time they got here, it was gone. And so by the time they left our program, they had an apartment to move into, and the difference, especially in that little girl, was night and day. She just was smiling all the time. She drew me beautiful pictures of sunshines and flowers and things like little girls that age do. And I always think about that because on the days when things get tense and stressful, I think, well, it was worth it. It's all worth it for those happy smiles when people feel welcomed into a community or able to survive in their community and move forward with their life.
So that's the kind of work that people do when they support this event coming up.
So we have a very small budget.
Yes.
We're on a tight budget, and this fundraiser, the Comfort Food Challenge on February 9th, is one of our main fundraisers, and it really makes a huge difference in our ability to have really good qualified person to be our advocate and to provide support to families to get them into housing, get the obstacles that have been in their pathway moved out of the way, and keep them safe while they're going through the transition.
So comfort food. I would say grilled cheese and tomato soup. Isn't that like the iconic comfort food?
You would be right.
And today I had my piece of quiche from yesterday, and I thought, it's not iconic, but it is pretty darn comfortable.
It's pretty
What's your favorite?
Well, macaroni and cheese.
Well, there it is.
Yeah,
that was Christmas dinner this year.
That's it. But we'll have a huge array of, like I said, about 25 different booths, so different restaurants, different churches. You know, those church cooks, you can't beat them. Most of them, most churches know who they are, you know, right away too. And so there's some wonderful stuff that comes in, wonderful soups. We'll be seeing, well, I'll just tell you some of our restaurants. We'll have the Silver Star will be there. We'll have Dirty Dozen Donuts will be there.
Okay.
We'll have, let's see, who else? Chili O'Brien's will be there with them. He's known for comfort food. So that just gives you a little idea. And then, like I said, those church cooks can be pretty darn good too. And, you know, all of the proceeds go toward our mission. And I really want to give a shout out to Valley Bank, who every year really presents this event, leads the sponsorships. We also have St. Peter's Hospital and the Cathedral, St. Helena Cathedral, and a number of other great sponsors who make sure that before any of our guests get to the exhibit hall at the fairgrounds on February 9th, we're already in the black by then. So we'll have lots of great things to bid on too, silent auction items, and for the first time ever, we're going to have live auction items, so some artwork and some nice adventure packages, things like that. So we hope you'll come out. Tickets are only $35 for a family, so it's a really low-cost family fun event, and then $15 for a single.
Okay. I think we've summed it up. What more could you ask for with comfort food and the great work that you do? It's a great combination because really it is sort of so related in a lot of ways, getting people to a comfortable place. And
that's exactly right. Good connection to the mission.
yeah. Well, super. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Bill.
And thank you guys for tuning in. As always, have a wonderful day.